friend Flo, and on the left is his friend Moritz, and they're going to talk to you about the startup that they're working on in Germany. I don't want to take up any more time, but please help me welcome Flo and Moritz.
Hey guys, how are you?
Yeah, it's pretty early in Germany, so yeah, we prepared some slides which we try to share by now. So yeah, get ready for the slides. King, do you see our slides or the presentation?
Yes, I see the slides.
Perfect. This works great. Yeah, so let's get started. Yeah, it's Florentin and me. We are both the founders of Blicksta, and today we want to talk about all the struggles and failures and the recovery we had. And yeah, if we take a little glance at our agenda, we start with the introduction of ourselves. It will be very short. Then we'll look at Blicksta and what we're going to do there, and also at the business model behind it. And when it comes to the struggle, failures, and the recovery, we got 7 points worked out. First, we wanted to be sales. Then we're going to do the point jump into the cold water. Then it comes to plan for success. Employ only the right people and only the right. Then the point retention is king, and you can never rest. And friends and family. And at the end, we want to just make a point after all those struggles and failures why you should do it anyway. So, yeah, I think if anybody has a question for now, we can get started.
Any questions?
Yeah. Question? Yeah. The problem is we don't see it. We just see our presentation right now. So yeah, I think you can interrupt wherever you want
Just
to.
let us know.
Yeah. and shout out. Okay. So let's get started. Yeah, that's us. That's Florentin and me. We were studying in the summer session at Berkeley. It's part of a program we ran through at our mother company. It's Bertelsmann. It's one of the biggest media companies. We ran a dual study system right there, which was where we focused on practice work and there we also got started with Blicksta.
Exactly. There was this guy thinking about doing something for our target group, and we stepped in and said, we have an idea. Let's get started with this. And so they bought 90% of the company that we founded, and then let us found it there within them.
Yeah. So basically, what we did, we studied international management and worked also beside at this big media company, and came up with the idea and just did the very old-fashioned process of writing an investment proposal, pitched it to the board, and got an investment. That's I think far enough about ourselves, and that's not the topic today. So yeah, let's get started with Blicksta. Yeah, Blicksta is a platform for the Gen Z, and the Gen Z are basically all the digital natives, all the ones who were born after 1995, the ones who grew up with internet, with smartphones, with all those social media stuff, Google, for example, Facebook, and co. And this generation is, when it comes to future orientation and job orientation, and that's all about Blicksta. They're completely different.
It seems like your presentation is frozen. Can you make it full screen by any chance?
Yeah, I'll try.
So what do you see right now?
We see your PowerPoint. We don't see a full screen of the presentation. It seems like we're looking at your document as you're about to edit it.
Okay.
Okay, but now it's in presentation mode?
No, it's not in presentation mode. So it's still in the edit mode.
Oh, that's weird. Actually, we see the presentation in presentation mode. What can we do right now?
Zoom in. Just zoom in. I think it would be better.
Yeah. Okay. So.
A little bit more. There you go. Much better.
All right.
Okay.
So we'll just do it like that.
Yeah, I think we can do it like that. So yeah, the Generation Z, our target group, and basically they're all students going to school, and when it comes to future orientation, this generation is completely different because first they have the highest complexity on the job market out there. There are a lot of study programs in Germany they can run. There are a lot of dual systems they can run with companies. So there's a high complexity and is increasing day by day. And they don't really know where to start it because this complexity is kind of freezing them in all what they do. And so they need some help, some people giving them a starting point in all this job orientation process. The second point, which is different about this generation, is that they're very self-centered. So there's just me, myself, and I. They are really focused on their personal happiness in life. They're also called the fun generation in Europe and especially in Germany. And they just pursuing their own goals without looking left or right and without focusing on society or stuff. And that's what keeps them very self-centered. And the last point I want to bring up, which just is very different or brings it to the point and how far this generation differs to all the generations before when it comes to topics like job orientation, is that they have completely different communication habits than the generations before. And they're always on the run. They're always connected to the internet. You see it maybe at yourself. You just leave your home, and you would rather forget your wallet as your smartphone, and once you got it, you use it more or less every 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So that's I think the most important difference. And when it then comes to job future orientation, actually they do not really have the desire to deal with that topic because it's too complex. It's just too much to handle. There are limitless opportunities. I mean, in Germany alone, there are over 18,000 study courses to pick from. What to do after high school, and so this is just too much to handle. So right now there's this thing called internet, and once they take the step to seek help from that, it's getting more complex. Even there are millions of pieces of information to scream for the attention of the young people. So I think that's what you call information overkill. And then I don't know about the US, but in all over Europe there's this federal system in place, which is kind of old-fashioned, kind of stuck in the mid-'80s, and really not able to connect with pupils that way. So we got this hugely complex decision to make, which is really a milestone for the young people. We got this hugely complex information system, and at the same time there's this federal system which is not really able to help pupils there. Yeah, so the problem which comes up is that on the one hand, this generation who needs most to care about their future or think most about their future just doesn't find any entry point, and on the other hand, we got a really old-fashioned, as Florentin described it, old-fashioned orientation system, which has such a bad image to this generation that that it's just also uncool to think about future and start caring about future, and that's a problem we try to solve with Blicksta. So Blicksta is a kind of new take on future job orientation, and it's mobile, holistic, and individual, and so those are the core elements we want to present you today about Blicksta. And if we get started with the point Blicksta is mobile, I mean, that's a low-brainer. I mean, we develop a product for the Gen Z, the generation which is always online, so we have to develop a product which is delivered at the end of the day to more or less every device out there. And so we are very happy that there is an app in release at least at the mid of November. So so that we are really in the daily life of this young generation.
And the second part is that Blicksta is holistic, and that means all those 18,000 study courses that I told you about, they are all on Blicksta. And there are coaching functionalities, there are matching mechanisms, there are videos, there are a lot of partner companies and partner universities, and what we do is we take all these possibilities and we try to discover what are the right possibilities for you. As in this example, there's this apprenticeship in Berlin with Coca-Cola, and this might have a matching score of 95% for you. So we pick exactly the right opportunities just for you or just for our users.
Yeah, and that's more or less also this point of yeah, individualization we're talking about. So what you see on this chart is on it's a news board of Blicksta, and it's kind of comparable to the newsfeed of Facebook. So you see contents. Those are those yeah, those pictures, for example, and tests, or also events, and yeah, what we just do, we don't display them randomly. There is a kind of algorithm behind it which always tries to build up correlation between the user profile you see, for example, at the left side, and the content which are displayed, so that in the end there is always the highest possible relevance in the topic of future orientation to each person individual. So on the left hand, for example, you see a girl which is interested in physics and is attending to high school, and she's maybe from the region round about Munich, and on the right side you can see a boy with a technical interest, with a maybe yeah, high school tendency, but maybe to the middle school, and he's from Berlin, and so they got completely different and individual news boards displayed. So yeah, that we try with this kind of mechanism to shut off all this complexity in this topic and give them the easiest and highest relevance possible entry point to the topic of future orientation.
Exactly. So starting with this news board, we'll try to share a video with you, which is really a short video on which tries to tell you what we did to help young people find the right study course or job.
Yeah. Can you give us a sign when it doesn't work well? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was this little video which tried to give you a short glance in how Blicksta maybe works from the user perspective. But I think what is much more relevant also to you guys is the business model behind it, and how we're gonna finance this stuff, what we're doing. And I think you can see Blicksta as a kind of marketplace.
Yeah, it's with a marketplace with two sides. For the on the one side, there are these young people trying to find a way after high school, and at the same time, there's employers and universities seeking for the right talent. And so what we do is we connect both sides and get finance, get paid for it by employers and universities. So what we do, we call it talent relationship management. So kind of like we enable talent relationship management for employers and universities, and it's kind of like customer relationship management, but in an HR place. So we think there are two ways to earn money in online and software, and this is bundling and unbundling basically. So in Germany we discovered there's a lot of unbundled specific services in this field, like displaying videos or job offerings, and so this is really specific service. And what we do is we try to integrate all these services and make a whole story out of it. So we try to connect the dots there and combine it in a way that makes sense for both sides. So what we do is really we bundle these services.
Okay, so yeah, that's I think enough to Blicksta and our business model behind it. So do you get any questions so far? Can you follow us? Maybe that's the better question.
You, but no questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
So yeah, let's get back to the presentation. Yeah, and we want to get started with the point of sales. That's, I think, yeah, the first point we want to make. And yeah, who of you guys yeah, can sell, or who is good in selling, or who ever thought about becoming maybe a salesman? Maybe you can just give up a little hand sign.
Who would consider themselves a sales guy?
Yeah, just give us a sign. It's yeah, don't worry. It won't be tracked or anything like this. We just want to get a feeling before this.
Okay, so there's one
person. Yeah, I think that's interesting to see, because there are a lot of people who want to found their own business and want to do their own business, but yeah, they don't think that has that much to do with selling or being a salesman, and I think that's yeah, the problem about it, because if you get started in yeah, it doesn't matter what, you always have to sell it. It doesn't matter whether you get the best idea or what else. You have to sell the idea. You have to be, or you must create a story which just brings this story to people and makes it understandable and makes it interesting and yeah, makes it attractive to all the people around. So yeah, I think the first point we want to bring up is that if you want to found your own business, you have to be a salesman, or at least in some parts, because yeah, if you look, for example, at your cash flow or whatever, at the beginning always stands your turnover. So yeah, that's I think one important lesson we learned also with Blicksta, because we were under pressure from the first moment. You know, Bertelsmann is a big media company, which is the biggest investor, and yeah, when we came up with an investment proposal, they just said,
take down the PowerPoint and so we could look at you, because we're just looking at a screen, so I think it'd be more dynamic if we saw you. So,
okay, yeah, maybe I can stop for a moment this yeah, the presentation. Yeah.
For a
Great.
moment, PowerPoint was full screen. There you go. There you go. Much better. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So we're too big, I guess, at the front wall. No. So yeah, back to the point. When we came up with the business model and all the investment proposal stuff, and we didn't get started without customers. So we had to go out there on the market and first find some customers who gonna support this program, or partner in this program. So without them, we wouldn't have got the investment and the money behind it. So. I think
what we did is
important.
Yeah, we did have to figure out a sales strategy and sell the product before even building it. So we went all over Germany, and on the basis of PowerPoint slides without any code written, and had to sell it. So we figured that like big companies would be best to sell first, because they are able to pay high prices. So we found 8 or 9 customers, like founding customers, before getting even started, really, before getting any money, before writing any code. We had to sell this. So we had to sell this to T-Mobile, to Deutsche Bank, you probably know it, to Coca-Cola, which are our customers right now, but we had to sell it before we had anything done. So this is really pretty important. And right now, since we proved our concept, we got some traction with users, with customers. We right now have to, or can, open up this model to SMEs, and we are right now trying to figure out multipliers for SMEs, because SMEs are really hard to do sales with, because there are so many of them, and every single one doesn't generate so much revenue. So we're trying to figure out what are our sales multipliers which we can use.
Yeah. The second point we want to bring up today is the point jump into the cold water, and that's, I think, not only a thing which has to do with entrepreneurship in general. I think it is a concern everyone in our age, or maybe in age between 20 and 30 should think about most, or maybe all about their lives. It's about getting out of your comfort zone by more or less everything you do out there. And yeah, I mean, we got started with Blicksta without having any bachelor degree or something like this. So we were studying to this time, and I think in the end it also really doesn't matter. It just matters what you're gonna do there out every day and at working, and so I think the core line is get out of your comfort zone and do the things you have feared maybe most, and if you don't know what or how you can solve them or do them, just oftentimes those are the things which have the most impact. So focus especially on the ones you fear.
Exactly. So remind yourself that at the beginning of the project you have the most important decisions to make, and at the same time the least, that's the point where you have the least knowledge about the project. So don't be afraid of the decisions to make, because it's hugely complex. You probably won't know where you get or where you will get, and but do it anyway. Try to break it down into little problems. But it's really, really important that you do jump into the cold water and do just do it, as Nike says.
Yeah, and once you're in there, I think it's always important to just take some parts of your process or progress. You just take a step back and start prioritize. So just focus on the AAA topics, and all the other things, just leave them or leave them where they are. I think it's so hard because you always have to also kind of manage yourself and control yourself by only doing the right things and just focusing on the AAA things, and those are as Florentin also said before, mostly the things you fear most. And so just get in there in the water and learn swimming.
Yeah. So what we experience is that we should probably say there are about 20,000 users right now. We've got a team with 25 people, and there are so many things to do. We could easily fill up triple our days with things to do. But you really have to get together like once in a week or something and try to prioritize. So not to fill up your day with unimportant stuff, but with AAA stuff.
Yeah. Back to the presentation. The third point we want you to bring up today is the point plan for success, and I think that has a lot to do with the point of thinking big from first moment. So once you get all the traction, just start to figure out your growth driver and build up a team structures and internal processes that are at the end at least able to handle all this huge number of users. So when we got started with Blicksta, we just didn't thought that the user take up, or we didn't expect it to be that fast. And in the retro perspective, I think we should have from the first moment on thought in those dimensions we are moving to right now. So to give you a feeling, we just first we thought that to the end of this year we want to maybe reach maybe 5,000 users at the platform, and so we from all the back-end processes, handling all these users by support and all this stuff, we just underestimated everything, because now we're standing at close to 20,000 users of the platform. So we totally hit the nerve of this generation, what was great on the one hand, but on the other hand, on the operational side, back in the team and all the process stuff, and so we just running hell right now. The point we want to make is now to just think big from the first moment of your project, and of course you got to make some step backs and get also the kind of reality check, and the reality comes by day, but just take the moments and think the things you do really big.
Yeah, and so this goes even for hiring. Like sometimes it is useful if you get the right people to like overemphasize or overdraw your cash flow or your profits to hire the right people. If you're really convinced this is the right guy, then he will create value. And you can always you got to plan for success, because if you plan for failure, then you will fail. So rather hire the right people than wait too long.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect introduction to our next point. It's all about this hiring the right people and employ only the right people. And it looks so easy. For example, you see at the picture the German national team, yeah, when they got started, I think early of this year, the national coach just pointed out which players he will send to yeah, the World Championship to Brazil, and yeah, he at least, I think he just he didn't take any offender, so everyone in Germany was going crazy and telling, what the hell is he doing? There's no offender in the team, and but he said, no, just trust me, I know what I'm doing, and yeah, I think the point we want to make here right now is employ the right people, only the right people. We just, I think that the failure that at some points when it gets too complex, we just took people into this business where we just thought, okay, they might be not the best culture fit, or maybe they're not that biggest talents out there, but we need some people taking some work of us. That I think on the long run we just kind of suffer from those people, because they're just they're not the best match, and I think, or that's, I think the point we want to make is in case you got the decision whether to just hire people who are maybe not the right people, but who, yeah, maybe can help you to handle the situation. Maybe, yeah, in the end, I think you should always decide on working maybe 2 hours more every day, but skip employing this people or this person, because on the long run it won't make you happy, and it will bring you more trouble than you've ever expected in this moment when you just hired the person.
Yeah, and the same thing goes if you hire the person and he or she is really performing well, but does not fit into the culture, or is like a troublemaker. Sometimes that's good, but most of the time that's pretty annoying actually. And imagine you spend a lot of time with them under a lot of pressure, and this makes things really hard. And even if the person is really doing well, performing well, we made this experience that it's sometimes better to fire those people for the culture fit, because if something really destroys your culture, then the team is destroyed, and this is really bad. This is the baddest thing that can happen to you, because if people are not happy there, and they will leave, and even the key players will leave, and that's really bad.
Yeah, and also another point is that it costs you so much energy to keep those people motivated, to keep those people yeah, in the team and in the culture, so that in the end you're suffering, because yeah, at the first, or from a short-term perspective, it makes a lot of sense to take or hire this person, because there's just so much or hell lot to do. But on the long run, yeah, I think you will regret it. So when you hire, just hire the right and only the right people.
Exactly. So what we developed like 3 questions that we asked ourselves after every interview. First one is this guy or is this female, is he or she really pragmatic? Or is he over-analyzing? Is he or she really getting things done or not? Second thing is he or she really able to be enthusiastic about the idea? Because if everyone follows the same dream, then that's 80% of what's necessary. And the last thing is, do we trust this guy or with our dream? Would we lay it into their hands? And I think if you can check all those questions, then you got a really good fit there, which doesn't say anything about the skills, but all about are we as 2 individuals able to work with them.
Okay, so
the last thing one of the last things we figured out is that for us retention is king. That may depend on the business model, but this is really important for us, because what we started to feel was that that we got this initial interest from users, and they really liked our product, but they weren't coming back, and they are still not really coming back. So like 80% of our users just only visit the site once. They stay for a long time, but they don't come back then. So the first thing is getting users to the platform. I think we got that going, which is marketing. The second step is then retention, and the third step and final step is loyalty. And this is really important to understand, because everyone is screaming for virality right now, and this may be important to get some initial user traction, but then you got to keep those users. And once you got loyal users, once you got high retention rates, then it's easy to convert this into new virality. But virality can stop really fast, so that's pretty important. And this is what we experience right now. So we are in the middle of solving this problem. We can.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it just got started. Yeah, if you look at our registered users, I mean, we're just delivering a lot. So as I mentioned, we planned with 5,000 users to our partners to the end of the year, but now we are at more or less 20,000, and that's great. But if you look, for example, at the clicks per day, and if you look at the retention of them answering partner requests or partner mails, and also, for example, invitation to events and all this stuff where interaction is happening on the platform, we just get that they are not that often at the platform. They don't log in every day or not, at least every week. They are just coming once, register, using the orientation tests and stuff, but then they leave, and that's a big problem to us, because what we sell to our partners is the possibility to build up relations to this target group. And without them being on the platform, there's no possibility to build this relation, because the relation only can just be a result of interaction on our platform. And that's what we are actually losing or missing right now, and where we have to just do our homework and find kind of possibilities or opportunities, or also platform mechanisms which just allow this kind of interaction and brings our users every day or day by day on the platform. And that's all the thing about retention. And I mean, it's not the newest point. I mean, especially in the Silicon Valley, I mean, every startup is I think mostly, or the most important KPI to a lot of VCs is just the retention and not the registered users, because the registered users or also a very fast growing registered user hasn't to be a real long-term thing, you know. It just can mean that they just got once in your platform, they see what you're doing, and then they just left, and I think that's not enough.
Yeah. So next thing is that during the process of building up this little company, and it's still kind of in our heads, is that after a certain point, after the next milestone, it will get better. So when we got our we said if we got our first big customer, and then everything will be good, and we can finally start. And then we got this customer, we got a next customer, we got this investment proposal, and we said, okay, once we got the money, we're going to hire people, and then it will be better, and we don't have to work as much. And then we hired some people, and we started to build up the IT platform, and we thought, okay, once they take over, once the IT platform is built, then it will get better. Once we launch it, we don't have to work as much. And then after the launch, we say, okay, wow, we need to launch a marketing campaign. But once we get that and all the users are coming, then we won't have to work as much. And it didn't. So.
So the basic line as you see is you can never rest, and then I think that's the point we had to learn, because we always thought that by time it will be getting better, that by time that we can again handle it more or more easy, and that's just not true. I mean, we were walking hell the last 2 years, and we're still doing so, and I think that's what takes very long. I think it's just the nature of challenges which maybe change, but in the end, the degree of how hard these challenges are, they really doesn't. So
if at all, it gets harder.
Yeah. So it would be kind of naive or short thought to think, okay, that by time you can rest. So I think that's not true.
Yeah. And I think that's why everybody says it's really, really hard.
Yeah, maybe. So let's come to the last point, and that's very, very personal stuff. So friends and family is here the headline, and I think we cannot generalize this point, but at least the experience we made is that once you decide to do this, and once you just write the investment proposal, and you got the investment, and you get the responsibilities for people, for employees, but also for budget and stuff, you have to deliver a lot of promises you gave, and
you really want to do this. I mean, it's your dream, it's your company. You really want to for it to succeed.
Yeah.
And so it really consumes you, every tiny bit of your thought, of your energy, of your time.
Yeah, and I think what's also the point is it's taking a lot of your passion, and so yeah, you will just get by time that you lose this passion for other things. For example, at your family. You will see that they're always worried when they see you, and they always tell you how bad you're looking. And
we got letters from our parents that they were worried, and we should come home and we should stop working that much.
Yeah, you also get the feeling, or also see that friends are moving on. So of course they do, and you do as well. But yeah, you have to be sure or good with this point that you maybe also lose them, and I think that's also a point when it comes to your boyfriend or your girlfriend. They will also feel a little bit unappreciated because whenever you make time, all you can really think about or talk about is work. So it's pretty hard. I think also boy and girlfriend, it's also this passion thing, because I think there is contingent passion you got, and just once you got started, you're so into this stuff. So it's hard to find some passions for other things. So
it's really hard. Like there was this one evening when we came back from a I think it was a meeting with Coca-Cola, and they finally said they would be in. They would join us. They would be our customers, and we were really excited. And then I came home and had to walk out my dog, and it's like I was so excited about the fact that finally some really big company bought into us. And then I got home and there was this responsibility, and I couldn't really concentrate on what to do there.
So the contrast in the end couldn't be bigger, and I personally think that that's not bad, because I mean we're in an age where there's no big responsibility, especially if you look for, or liabilities if you look at family and stuff. I think maybe there come a time when family or your own family should maybe take a higher prioritization. But for the moment, I think it's okay just to as I mentioned at the first chart, go more or out of your comfort zone, and I think in the end what is also kind of learning out of all this, that you just you're changing your standards, and with this I mean not only standards in how much you can work or do every day, but also in quality. For example, just a very easy example. If I look at PowerPoint charts right now of people, I got a completely different view or quality standard as maybe 2 or 3 years ago, because I built in the time between so many charts, and that's just a very pragmatic or small example, and it just you can just transform it to more or less everything you do. You're gonna change your standards, and that's what just brings you along. And so I think for us there need to come, or I think it's really hard to find a point where we say, wow, this is kind of shocking us, or this is a kind of challenging fear, because there were so many parts we just did it, or we just jumped into the cold water, and I think that's for us a very interesting just learning out of experience out of all this stuff.
Yeah. And at the same time, you learn about so much stuff. I mean, I learned about psychology, about IT, about web development, about design and everything. I'm not an expert in this, but I can communicate with people so different as a graphic designer to an IT project manager. And it's really different people.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to learn to communicate with those people.
Yeah, and I'm looking for the presentation again. But we get to transmit it.
Okay.
So just give us a second, and then we're gonna just come to the last 2 slides. I think we're through the 7 struggles and failures and all the recovery, and we're all just entering the stage of why you should do it anyway. And so I think the big advantage, or I think for our luck, we just did it together. So the two of us, we at the end of the longest work days. I mean, we just some days started at 6 a.m. morning, and we just left office maybe at night and weekends and all this stuff. But in the end, there were always the two of us, and I think that was the best for us. So that we were always just doing this together. On the other one, you can see it on the picture to the right. We also had have a really great team out there, and that's also important because they give you energy, they give you the passion, because you can motivate them and you can see it in their eyes when they love what they do. And I think that's one of the best feelings you can ever get. And yeah, so yeah, why you should do it anyways. I mean, we learned a lot, and we're so proud if we, or not maybe proud, but we're so happy if you see what Blicksta is doing day in and day out. We're helping so many young people to find their jobs or their study programs for the future, and then we're also helping those great companies. On the other hand, finding the right people for their job offers and for their future, and yeah, I think that's a great mix of what we're doing, and as Florentin also mentioned, we're learning a lot, and that day in and day out.
Yeah. So even if we don't succeed in a few years, we will have a great experience, and I mean this is the greatest experience that I've ever got in my life, and I've done several really good things, but this is really incredible. So try it. Yeah,
it's totally
really worth it.
So that's what we want to just bring at the end, and of all those struggles and all this stuff we've shown to you. And I personally think that being a founder or all this startup thing, this doesn't start with having a good idea, or this doesn't start with having the budget or the right people to do so. I think it starts with you as a person, and if you say, hey, I want to do this, I want to just found the company or whatever, you will find an idea, you will find the right people, and you will also get the budget if it's a good idea. So yeah, I think it starts with everyone. It's a personal thing, and yeah, if you're interested in doing so, just start with yourself and just believe in it. I think that's the most important point. So yeah, this was our presentation. I hope we're in time. King, what do you say? Are you there?
I think we have maybe time for 1 or 2 questions, so I'll get the ball rolling. How did you manage? How much money did you manage to raise? And please feel free not to answer that question. But just wondering, how much money have you raised so far?
So yeah, we pitched the investment proposal, as I mentioned, to the board, and we got initial funding of 2 million. But right now we are in a kind of 2 million euro, and right now we're in a second.
We're in corporate, so 90% of the shares are with Bertelsmann, but we're trying to raise a Series B round within the company right now.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Questions? Hold on, I'm going to point the camera so they can see you. There you go.
Hey guys.
Did you pitch the idea without having the code prepared, like before you actually prepared?
Yeah, it's completely
exactly,
crazy. Yeah. We just got PowerPoint charts, but I think we were kind of convincing in the meetings we had, and I also think that in Germany there's really a very great need to all this future orientation or talent relationship management stuff, because what in Germany is happening right now, there's the kind of the so-called demographic change, but that there are people in young age, they're getting less. So the big companies are really worried about their future and about their future employees, and that's what's kind of getting them under pressure, and they need to bring up solutions, and that's why they supported, I think, this innovative approach of us.
And to be honest, we had to tell a lot of like half lies to really raise that money and to get the customers first. So with this background of Bertelsmann, of this big media conglomerate, that we could really like play this. So
yeah, we had a high credibility, and we also got a lot of entry points, and I I think that's also a very interesting topic to talk about, this mixture between, on the one hand, being a startup, but on the other hand, being incorporated. So it's a kind of corporate startup, which on the one hand gives you the chance to just take the best of both worlds. So on the one hand, you've got this really young team and really great culture and yeah, innovative and very dynamic progress. And on the other hand, yeah, for example, when it comes to talking to customers, when it comes to finding partners, you can always say, hey, well, we're a Bertelsmann company, so we are one of yeah, we're the daughter of one of the biggest media companies or the biggest media company in Europe. So yeah, this gives a huge credibility in business talks, of course.
Okay. One last question, if someone has a good one. Go ahead.
Hi. I was wondering how you got your first users, like how you got the word around about your product.
Yeah, it's a very good question. And this was also the biggest, or one of the challenges we worried about most, because it's very hard to get in yeah, this under those young people, because they have so much other stuff to do, or better stuff to do than thinking about their future. And what we basically did, we did a strategic cooperation with one of the biggest pupil or student fairs providers in Germany. So this provider has job orientation fairs all around or all about Germany, and they are having, I think, 200,000 yeah, guests each year on their fairs. And what we just did, we got on our platform interest tests, orientation tests, which in the end give the user feedback which interest on also, yeah, job offers or study programs fits best to them. And we just cooperated with this students fair provider by saying, hey, you got those fairs, and they're very complex. There are a lot of yeah, companies and universities who are presenting themselves on those fairs. Why just don't just bundle our two businesses and bring our interest tests on your fairs, so the pupil can do the interest test, register at Blicksta on your fairs, and in the end we will match their profile to the best, yeah, to the best presenter at your fair, to the best company or best match company at your fair, and yeah, so the most users we get by those fairs, and the people register there to find the right, yeah, company or yeah, university at the student fair.
So to generalize, I think it's always a good idea to take an existing network of people which already works, and then try to build up from there. I mean, LinkedIn did the same thing. I think Jobber is doing the same thing right now. I think this really works good.
Yeah, and I think also that when it comes, or in this point of future orientation and our part, I think it's also the branding is important, because as we mentioned before, all this part of job and future orientation has a kind of image damage right now, because it's a very old-fashioned topic and it's very complex. So we kind of had to reinvent all this future orientation process and give it a new look and feel. And yeah, I think that's where a lot of branding comes into the game.
Thank you guys once again.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, and just yeah, one last point. Yeah, if you have interest in doing kind of interns at Bertelsmann, not only Blicksta, I mean, really Bertelsmann, we got really good connections to companies in Germany. Just let us know, and we can see what we can do for you. I think that's also very helpful, and I think it's also very important to yeah, people studying to get out there in the economy and make their own experiences. While what I think it's the most important to learn what you're passionate in, and you have to find this thing. And I think the easiest way is to go out there. Maybe you can give them maybe our names or
the contact information.
Yeah, and just connect us on Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you want to.
Yeah, I'll do that, definitely. And one last comment, I love your sweatshirts, Berkeley sweatshirts.
Yeah, we just got them out for today. Yeah. No, yeah, so yeah, it was a great time, a great hour with you guys, and yeah, have a great evening, a great night, and yeah, I think
enjoy your studies.
We go get yeah, maybe a coffee or something like that.
Yeah. Thanks again.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Turn in your homework before you leave, please. And next week we have Hira Khan coming in, who worked at Google and has started a nonprofit in San Francisco. So she's actually starting 2 businesses.
What city are they in?
They, I don't remember.
Well, I would be very interested in getting in contact with them
Sure.
because I'm studying in Berlin.
Oh, you are? Okay, great.
Yeah, I would just like to.
Definitely, I'll send that out this tonight, maybe tomorrow.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So,
I kind of want to do something with them. See,
Yeah.
you want to like do an internship with them or something? Yeah, that'd be cool.